All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Anton on One podcast for the ambitious and anxious young Filipino. My name's Anton Fausto, and to give you guys like a quick context or explain the thought process I had going into this episode, my guest is a friend of mine from high school, and she has a kid. She's my age. She has a 4-year-old, a beautiful 4-year-old boy. And I've always been curious about what that's like getting pregnant at that age, raising a kid on your own. Like, here I am doing this podcast about quarter life crisis, trying to figure out my shit, my life. And then here's someone who has to figure out their life and another life at the same time. So I was pretty nervous about this. It's a touchy topic, especially here in the Philippines, but I feel like that feeling of being nervous was like a good sign that it's something worth talking about. So without further ado, my guest, Dani Marcos. What's up?
Hi, Anton.
Thanks for
Nice to
being
see you
here.
today. Thank
Nice
you
to
for having
virtually see
me.
you. Nice virtually seeing you. Nice seeing you not in a party or in a party like
Beach.
atmosphere, beach or something.
Yeah, it's
So
been a
yeah, as
while
we
since we've done this.
Oh, fun fact pala. Fun fact. Last time you and I saw each other was Siargao, right? Like physically
Yes.
saw each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
I think
But
that was
before that,
I don't know.
it was probably like high
Years.
school.
Did we not see each other at all in college?
I don't
In
think
those years?
so. I mean,
Parang
you
no.
have to remember that I got pregnant like my third year in college. I wasn't really going out much after that.
But there was 3 years. Anyway, before we get into that, and I have a lot of questions about that. Can you just like briefly for the listeners, for the viewers, what is it that you do? Wait, I made a few just an icebreaker. What is it that you do? Favorite color and one thing that kept you sane during the pandemic.
Okay, so I'm actually in real estate. I just joined a brokerage. So we do everything from pre-selling units, lots, secondary market, meaning already pre-owned units, and then we also do leases. And then favorite color. My favorite color is pink.
Mhm.
And what kept me sane during the pandemic was probably Lukey, my
Okay.
kid, my
Sa-
4-year-old son.
Sana
Yes.
naman. I would imagine it's one of the two. Your family either keeps you sane or insane. Like it's a
It's
blessing
a
to be
mix of
with your
both.
family. Yeah, it's a blessing to be with your family. But I feel like with all good things, my family listens to this podcast, so please don't take offense. With all good things, there has to be a balance. So like you can't have if you're just with your family only for all the
Yeah.
days of every week only, even if you no matter how much you love your family, I don't know, I feel like there's that sort of I need to have like my own time, space. I have to see other people also. It has to be that balance, diba?
Yeah, it's actually funny that you mentioned that because the start of the pandemic, up until I went to Siargao, which was okay, no. Yeah, until I went to Siargao around September last year for maybe around like 2 whole years. No one in my family like left the house, like hardly ever. Like we just leave to go to the grocery. So we were with each other 24/7. Just us.
Could you describe what is the situation in your living space? Like with me right now, it's two parents, two older brothers, and some house help. In your household, like, who are our characters here?
So we have my mom, my dad, my sister, Lukey, my kid, and me. And then we have our household help.
Okay. Wow, how was that though? 2 years? Did you reach a
Yeah.
breaking point? Was there a moment you're like, fuck this shit, like I can't?
Oh, hell yeah. Things got really okay. And the thing is, like, the pandemic was really hard for me. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like spiritual awakening, but then
No,
I feel
please
like
enlighten me.
so it's basically like when you come to terms with who you are, like you awaken to who you are as a person, and it's kind of like this whole like healing process of you understanding who you are, what you don't like about yourself, what you do like how can you work on it. So during the pandemic, that's really when I went through all of this. And um what was I gonna say?
wait, the spiritual awakening, like how is this? Like, do you take a course? Like, do you have like a guide? How can you just do this on your own?
Yeah, you can do it on your own. I think what got me into this journey was there's an Instagram account. It's a psychologist, and she's called. Wait,
Is
actually, I'm
it
gonna check it.
holistic psychologist?
Yes, the holistic
Ah, okay, there you go.
psychologist.
I followed that one
Yeah,
too.
so I just kept reading up about things like that, and then it really made me understand my past and the experiences that have shaped me. So, yeah, I learned about myself. I learned about what I didn't like. I learned about what I wanted to improve on. And I think that that's actually one of the hardest and most painful things that you can do as a human, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to look in the mirror and really, like pick yourself apart, and you have to be your worst critic.
Yeah.
So,
How
yeah.
does
So I
this?
did that.
How
Yeah,
could
go
I?
on.
I'm curious about this because I feel like everybody kind of went through their own spiritual awakening, like trying to figure out and discover who they are in the pandemic in different ways. I think mine was
Yeah.
I was dealing with a pandemic and a breakup most of the pandemic, so
Oof.
it was kind of centered on that. I think I made some hits to you about this. So
Yeah.
it was focused on that. It is like it was mainly about a breakup. So para normal breakup stuff, normal breakup, I meant breakup processes and like
Mhm.
thought processes and things you go through in a pandemic. But when it comes to this spiritual awakening, like what did you specifically do? I'm sure is there journaling in there, meditating? Like what are the parang concrete basic stuff that you did in that journey?
Well,
Don't have to
yeah,
say everything.
journaling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I journaled. I literally wrote my worst traits as a person, and I decided if those were things that I wanted to change, or
Uh-huh.
if those were things that made me who I was. And I thought about it, like, am I happy with who I am today? Was I happy with who I was before? Like, who do I want to become? So, yeah, concrete examples of like what I did would be mostly like journaling, talking
Mhm.
about it, and reading.
Would you say you're happy with who you are now?
Yes. And it took a lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine. When you say you're happy with yourself, like this is another. I like to overthink. Actually, no, I don't like to overthink. It just happens. Um, when it comes to like that journey of like loving yourself, discovering yourself, and then you reach that point when you're like, I'm happy with myself. My worry, my fear with that. Sorry, this suddenly became like a psychologist therapy session.
It's fine. I'm a
My
psych major.
Oh, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. My worry there is when I reach that point where I'm like, I'm happy with myself. I'm worried that
Hmm.
that kind of stops the process because it's like you're like humans, like we're always evolving, we're always changing, supposedly always improving, getting better. I get worried that if I reach that point where I'm like, you know what, Anton, you're a great guy. Like I worry that it's gonna stop there. And the goal naman is to keep on like evolving, diba?
But like that's the thing about healing. Like there's no end. Like
Uh
it's a
huh.
journey and it just keeps going, because as humans we make mistakes and sometimes we go back to old patterns. And I think that's okay. Like it's part of it. Like you just have to forgive yourself and understand that it's all part of the journey, and that you'll eventually get to where you need to be. And that doesn't mean that it's an end goal, but that it's a place of contentment for the meanwhile.
There you go for the mute. Yeah, while you were talking, while I was saying my thoughts, I just a realization. I think that being happiness thing, it's like just because you're happy with yourself doesn't mean you stop improving. Like you can be happy every step of the way, every day of the way. Okay, let
Yeah.
me let me let me let me now go to the stuff the shit I really want to ask. If we can go back in time, let's go a couple of years back. If we can revisit that experience when you got pregnant, the beginning, the initial stuff. The first things I want to know is who's the first person you talked to about this?
Um so funny story, my best friend, who you might know, Bettina Dizon.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Taft, and I think I was like one day late for my period. Like just one day.
Okay.
And I went up to her during like a lunch break, and I was like, bets, I'm late for my period. And she like grabs my arm and she's like, we're gonna go buy a pregnancy test right now.
Uh-huh.
And then she comes with me to Watson's and Taft, and then we bought a pregnancy test. And she was like, "You're not leaving, or like I'm not leaving your side until you take that test." And I was like, and at this point, like I've read up about pregnancies and whatnot, so or like taking a test, and I read that the most accurate time would be to take it like your first p of the morning. So I was like, I can't take it now. Like I want to get like an accurate result, so
Uh-huh.
I'll just take it in the morning. And then she was like, okay, fine. So I took the test home, and later that night, it was around 2 a.m. And sorry, I'm like going on. You just
No,
asked
no, no,
one
no, no,
question, but
no.
I'm
Don't be.
telling the
This
whole
is the
story.
point of why I guested you. It's for you to talk and share your story.
So at around 2 a.m., I couldn't wait anymore. Like I was getting so anxious. Like I
Uh-huh.
just had to know. So I took a test, and then it turned out to be positive. I can't remember who exactly the first person that I told that it was positive. Obviously, my baby daddy. And then I think one of my best friends.
Uh-huh.
And then my sister. I woke her up. She was asleep. And super funny story because we were fighting. Like we didn't talk for maybe like 9 months. So I
Before
went
that?
inside. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
9 months? What are the chances that it was 9 months and now you begin another 9 month journey? Okay, please continue.
So I went inside her room. I woke her up and I was like, Ats, I'm pregnant. And then she was half asleep, right? And she just laughs at me and she goes, you're so fertile. And then she like pats her bed and she was like, come here, baby. And then I laid down and then she just started stroking my hair.
Oh.
And then after that, I was like, fuck this shit. Like, like I need someone to talk to. Like, I don't need someone that's asleep, right? So I was
Comfort.
like, fuck
Okay.
this shit. Left her room, went to my room. And then after a few minutes, she came in and she was like, wow, are you really pregnant? Like, I thought I was dreaming. And I was like, yes, I'm really pregnant. And then she just laughed and then she left. So she was the
Oh.
first person that I actually had a conversation about.
Uh, Rewind pala that because before you talk to someone, I'm sure you have a conversation in your head. Do you remember? This is not necessarily like what you were thinking, but like what are the emotions? Like how is that just in your head when you saw the result? And when I'm sure you're thinking like, what's gonna happen? What are my plans? There's a life now in me.
Um, Honestly, I feel like from that day onwards, I was pretty much like numb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I didn't know how I should feel. Like I was so young. I was like, I think I was the first one in our batch at the time.
How
And
old are you again? How old are we?
I was 20.
20. Okay. This was in
Yeah.
2016?
16.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to feel. I mean, obviously I was like thinking about like how am I gonna tell my family?
Mm-hmm.
Like how am I supposed to raise a kid? Like I'm still in college. So I had all of those thoughts. I mean, it was obviously like at that point I was like, um, I'm gonna have this baby, like for sure. But then
You never doubt. You never had a second guess of proceeding and having the child.
no.
How are the next few like months like? Did it change anything with like how you were setting your goals about how you saw your future? I mean, I don't know if having a kid pretty young was that in your plan before pa?
No. So funny, I didn't even know if I wanted kids
Mm-hmm.
prior to me getting pregnant. But it turned out to be one of the best blessings of my life. And as hard as it is, I really think that having Lucas gave me a bigger purpose in life. Because prior to having a kid, I was very free spirited and adventurous. And it was like to the point, and this is like not meant to be morbid, but at that time, I felt like I had lived a good life. So whatever God had planned next for me, like it was okay. Like it was okay because I lived a good life. But having Lucas really gave my life more purpose in the sense that I never want him to have to grow up without a mom. So it really forced me to change habits and even behaviors that I didn't like within myself so that I could give him the best upbringing that he deserves.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, I forgot. What was it?
Did it change? Did anything change with parang goals in life, or future plans,
So,
ganon?
when I was in college, I took psychology because I wanted to take law, maybe. I mean, like at that point, it was a thought. But when I found out I was pregnant, I just wanted to graduate and start working right away because I didn't want to have to depend on my parents to support my kid. So as soon as even before I graduated, I was doing internships. But as soon as I graduated, I just started working right away.
Did you stop school at all?
No.
So how did you? How's that? How was going to school? And I don't. Were you still going to school by the time you were like 8 months in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I wore a lot of like baggy clothes. Like loose
Hoodies,
shirts or jackets. I'm sure like people noticed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure like if people that didn't know me or
Yeah.
like that didn't know about it
Probably thought you
noticed.
just
Like
got
no one
fat.
yeah. I mean like no one like came up to me and was like, "Hey, like I heard you're pregnant," or
Oh,
I
in the
mean no
whole
one that I
9
didn't
months.
know. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I knew that everyone knew.
Yeah.
Like suddenly people that I wasn't so close to started talking to me and like making me kamusta,
Oh, that's
which I
nice.
honestly found like really no, it's just kind of
No,
annoying.
oh,
It's
that's not
like
nice. Oh, sorry. Was I don't know
I
what
mean,
if I was one of them. Baka parang hindi naman. Because this is the first time I'm.
no, you're at the Neo, right?
Yeah.
No, so like people in TAF, like people that would
Okay.
see me in school, like they like suddenly like like we never really had conversations, and then when the word started getting around that I was pregnant, like people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, like Dani, how are you?" And it
And you
was
didn't like
just
this.
so I didn't because it was like, why are you suddenly trying to talk to me now? Like just because you heard something about me, right? I mean, I'm sure that they meant well and it was nice, but at the same time, it was kind of like mind your own business.
Okay.
And that's why, like, I think maybe my second term into my pregnancy, I would just take like full days of classes, no breaks, go to school, then go home. Like I didn't want to see anyone.
When in a situation like that, no, you're a student and you're pregnant. What do you think is like how? I'm sure there are people who. Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that there are people, the people who don't really know you, don't really talk to you, but then they started talking to you. Probably that was their way of like reaching out. What would be like, in your opinion, now? What would be like a nice way? Would it to sort of support someone in your situation in that in a setting like that? Is it to just leave them alone, let them minding their own business?
I mean, I think like if you go straight to the point, it's okay. I mean, like if it's like public knowledge, like the person acknowledges it already. I think you can just go up to them and be like, "Hey, congrats," instead of like trying to make kamusta
And
and
beating
like
around the
pretending like you
bush.
care about the person. Yeah.
Pretending like you care about. Okay. Well, now that we're in it with the social stigma, how was it dealing with that? Like, you said that I'm sure, parang you said that I know that everyone knew. Parang that's something that you kind of carry at the back of your head. It's not really like I don't know. Parang I don't think there was like a big announcement and you're like, "Yo, guys, I'm pregnant."
I
Gonna then people are,
actually did.
oh, you had one.
Well, this was like the era of Ask FM, and so I was getting a lot of questions.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Ask FM.
And so there
Crush
was
mo
like
ba si
one question.
ganyan? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, like I got annoyed of the questions, and I just decided to answer it. I was like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant,"
Uh,
and I got a lot of bashers also, like a
who?
lot of haters,
Fuck Ask FM, by the way,
like
man. It's
people
the
trying to like
easiest.
twist my words.
It's the easiest cyberbullying thing. This Ask FM thing. Okay, and how can we dive into that? How did you deal with it? I mean, that must be really really tough. Like just having having people like talk about you or stuff online and doing all of that while carrying life in you. How did you deal with that? How did you get over it?
I eventually deleted my Ask FM. Not
Okay.
for that reason, but
Uh-huh.
I heard that like some of my titas were starting to like read through my Ask FM. So I was like, okay, nope.
Oh, okay, yeah. Once
Yeah.
the titas get involved, it's just yeah, stay out of it. Mhm.
Yeah. So I was like, nope. So I deactivated my Ask FM, and then um well, I think I had a really good support system at the time.
Mhm.
And but it was really funny because there were like a lot of rumors going around about me, and one of them, this one was the funniest. It was
There you
like
go.
my best friend messaged me and she was like, I heard you're leaving for Spain. Why didn't you invite me to your despedida? Like you're having a despedida now on Saturday. Like why didn't you invite me? And I was like, oh wow, I'm having a despedida and moving to Spain. That's great.
So they made up a story and they made up even a date like that. There's gonna be
Yeah.
on that specific Saturday. Wow. Do you remember any other? Do you remember any other rumors or stuff you heard that actually like stood out? Kasi sobrang labo.
There are, but I prefer not to mention.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that. That's cool. That's cool. Along with that, kasi like if you in the Philippines, like if you get pregnant, I think an expectation is you get married. How did you deal with that one?
Well, from the start, well, I mean, like this is just my mindset, but I never want to marry someone if it's not because I love them.
Uh huh.
Because I feel like marrying someone just because we have a kid together, it could go both ways. It could go really great or it could go horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid can be forced into a family situation where, they get unresolved trauma for years, or they just see like their parents fighting and unhappy. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
not a good environment to raise a kid. Like they need to have a good idea of what love is and what family should be like. I'll speak for myself. Like if I were put in the situation, I would introduce whoever I'm dating as a friend,
Uh huh.
because I mean, it's also not nice to for the kid to grow up and then he sees you dating like so many people, right?
Yeah.
So I would really only introduce someone
It's like really
I
serious.
if it's really serious or if there's like a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I consulted a psychologist about it also. Like, if me or my baby daddy started seeing other people, like how should we go about it?
Uh-huh.
And she said, for me, it would be okay for Lucas to meet my significant others because we Luki and I have already established a relationship. So yeah,
Between you two.
so like yeah,
Okay.
between me and Luki. So it's more normal for him to see that parang, yeah, like, you date people, but then um not everyone you date is going to be the person that you spend the
Okay.
rest of your life with.
Yeah.
Because I
Wow.
think that's also part of um
Yeah.
like a healthy look at love.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
think.
marry like the first person that you fall in love with. Sorry,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But with so have you talked to him about these concepts at the tender age of 4?
um
Or
no, I feel like uh I'll start talking to him about it when he starts asking questions.
okay. You just kind that's
Or
what you exude. That's the vibe. That's the life you live. And then parang sana that's what he picks up and like just sees from example. Parang ganon.
I mean, it's also, I guess, there's like that sweet spot with COVID. Because when I go out, when I get home, I isolate. So
Mm,
Luki doesn't see me like go out and then come home, or like, he doesn't experience those things.
yeah.
So I guess he doesn't really have much questions. Like as far as he knows, it's
Yeah.
mommy and daddy are friends, or I
Yeah.
don't know what he thinks, but I mean, like I've told him, like mommy and daddy are just friends, but I don't know if he like understands it or if he even
Okay.
cares.
Okay. Well, I would say good luck in the future because when I kids ask a lot of questions. I knew that when I was growing up, I kept asking a lot of questions. So I can just imagine what it'd be like if you're on the other side of those questions. in terms of a career, first I want to ask your mom. What is her career like right now? Was she a stay-at-home mom?
Um, no, so my mom's always been working
Oh, okay.
ever since like before I was born. Um, yeah, she's in marketing, so she's VP of marketing and sales, I think.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was thinking how I grew up. Because it's hard to compare yourself with other people. Parang how you live your life, I think, is always sort of like a reflection of how your parents did theirs. And my mom was worked in finance, and then when my second brother was born, she became a stay-at-home mom, full-time homemaker, ganon. So I don't know. Like, let's say I do get married and have kids in the future. I don't know if I'm gonna expect my wife to be career woman who goes out to work, or if she's gonna be like a stay-at-home mom and really spend time with the kids. But
Yeah.
in your have you thought about it? Like, you're sure you're gonna stick on this path? Like, you're gonna keep working?
Um, I think so because hmm, being at home all the time,
Yeah.
one, it gets boring. And obviously, like your kids are gonna go to school. Like by the time this pandemic's over, like my kid's
Uh-huh.
gonna be in school
Uh-huh. Is he
during the
studying now, by the
hours
way?
that. So Nina, you remember Nina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gomez. She's gonna
She's the
start
teacher?
tutoring him.
Oh,
She's gonna
okay.
tutor him in maybe like 2 weeks, a week or two. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we did
Jess.
like online school. Jess?
From New
Oh,
Girl.
from yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fun fact, I
I just
named my
remembered.
dog after that character. My dog's name's Jess. I got a dog last year. Yeah, but wow, good, huh? Our batchmates are the ones gonna be
Yeah.
teaching our kids.
I think I'm gonna be working also with the economy right now. Like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know how you can afford to be a one salary paycheck. I mean
Household.
a one paycheck household.
Yeah.
But also I feel like in my line of work, my hours are very flexible and for the most part it
Okay.
is manageable to work from home.
Okay, there. So you don't always have to be out, man. Like, you still get to balance having that time for
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
time with
I mean
kids.
at
Oh,
least what I experienced prior to the pandemic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I still managed.
How do you make that distinction though? We were talking about this, the time as a career woman, time for your career, time to work, earn money, and then time to spend with your kid. How about when it comes to time with yourself and time with the kid? Like, I think it's important to always have that time for yourself. We were talking about the balance. Like, you can't, if you're just with the same people all the time, diba? It's gonna get to your head. How do you do that distinction of like giving yourself time and also prioritizing your kid?
I think that's the hard part because, like, there are days when uh, I'm so tired that, like, I don't even have, like, the time or the energy to, like, brush my teeth,
Uh huh.
like, before going to bed. So when Luki sleeps with me, prior to the pandemic, he would sleep in the same room as me, and I would try to put him to bed. Sometimes it would take long, like 2 to 3 hours, like at midnight, like he's still up.
Like,
And
putting him to sleep for 2 hours?
yeah, because sometimes he's like overstimulated, so he still has
Mm-hmm.
so much energy. So, like by the time I get him to sleep, I'd be so tired already.
Uh-huh.
And then like I know that I still have like work stuff to do. So, it would be like a hard balance.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think during the pandemic it really helped that we had a lot of time together, so we were able to adjust his sleeping schedule. So
Yeah.
it's a lot better now. It's also a lot easier to put him down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, my parents help a lot. Like they give me a lot of time and freedom
Oh
to
yeah.
do me
That's great.
things.
Oh yeah, you went to Siargao a lot last year. How was that though? Can you explain? I mean, did you have a conversation like, "Hey, mommy's gonna go away for a while. She's gonna get lit." How did that go?
Well, so the original plan was for him to come with me because
Oh.
at the time, I couldn't find prior to Nina being his teacher,
Mm-hmm.
we did like online classes. And for a kid that's never experienced like face to face classes, it was so hard for him to adjust to online classes. So that didn't go well. We moved to homeschooling.
Uh-huh.
meaning like I had to like physically teach him. And when we started doing that, I got so overwhelmed because I didn't have time for work. And
Yeah.
every time I would try to teach him something, like there, at the start, it was really fun. Like it was a good experience for both of us. But when it got to the more technical stuff like math or reading, writing,
Oh yeah.
that's when it got hard. Like he
Did you have
didn't
to
want to learn it.
relearn stuff? I mean, I know it's like basic stuff,
Yes.
but we're supposedly I don't know. I don't know half of the stuff I learned in at least half the stuff I learned in school. So even if it's like basic nursery stuff, like did you have to relearn things like the meaning of a
Yeah, I mean, there was like
verb or something?
something because we did like Montessori homeschool.
Uh-huh.
So there was like the desk, and I didn't come from like a Montessori background.
Yeah.
I went to a traditional school like since I was in prep or kinder.
Were you AC all the way?
Yeah, since like kinder one. Yeah,
Is
kinder one,
AC
kinder two, then
kinder?
prep.
I mean AC
Yeah,
has oh, so you were really just AC and then Taft. CSB or
yeah.
LaSalle?
LaSalle.
LaSalle, okay.
So yeah, I didn't have like a Montessori background, and when they learn math, they use like decimal system, like beads.
Okay.
So I had to learn that. And it's not
Oh
even
yeah.
relearning, but I had to learn
You have
that.
to learn a new
Then
thing.
yeah. So that was really it was really overwhelming. And at some point, I kind of just gave up because I didn't want Lucas, like, because it would come to a point where we would kind of like get the fight, like me and Lucas, because like he didn't want to learn it, and then
Mm,
I would get annoyed because he didn't want to learn it.
yeah.
So I didn't want him to have a bad stigma towards school. Like I
Learning.
wanted him
Okay.
to enjoy learning, which is why, yeah. So going back to it, the plan was for him to come to Siargao with me because I found a preschool teacher there, and she could do like because the schools in Siargao were open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the schools in Siargao. Yeah,
Were.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so she agreed to like come over and they could do like one-on-one tutoring because I wasn't really like ready for Lucas to be in school because
Mm-hmm.
like so much exposure and there are no good hospitals in Siargao.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time he was supposed to come with me, and my parents were like, why don't you just go by yourself first, like
Check it out.
like if you need a break then like go.
Oh.
And then yeah, so I that's what I did. And then when I got back to Manila, Nina finally had time to tutor. So and then Odette happened, so it was kind of like
Were you planning
sure
to
that
go
won't
back
happen.
there?
I think after my last trip, which was when I saw you,
Uh huh.
I was kind of like, I feel like I got what I needed.
Oh yeah.
Because
And some man, that was a you. How long were you there? You were one of the
I
people that
was
made me
there
feel
for,
like my 5 nights was super bitten.
it was, was it not?
Yeah, it was. It was. It was. But I know, but I also got what I also got what I was going for naman. I wasn't planning to go there and have my kid go to school there naman or anything. I was really just there for 5 days and then just got a party and then I just wanted to leave. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier, how 2020 was really the year that broke me. 2021 was my year of healing. And I feel like this year is more of
Ooh.
living with intention.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, sorry. I was expecting like this year I'm gonna be like a phoenix. I'm gonna rise from the ashes. But that's the thing with pain, no? Like the most like the biggest changes, the most beautiful stuff always have to happen after something really really painful, after like feeling destroyed and really broken or something. Like it has to go through that, no?
Hugot?
Well, no, yeah, this isn't just break up the month. Like I would say
Mm,
with just discovering myself like in the pandemic. Like the pandemic, no matter how happy of a relationship you're in. I like to say my parents are like my model relationship. Though they still that was a really tough this is we're not even done. This is really a really tough experience. I wanna ask now, you said a while ago that you weren't really thinking of having kids. The change in the the psyche of a lot of people, where it's sort of become a norm now. At least I've gotten to meet a bunch of people who come from the same background, traditional school, traditional family, siblings. Na it's normal to be like, oh, I don't want to have kids. Like it's my option not to have kids. So in your eyes, like having jumped to the other side, like you're also the like, oh, I didn't really want to have kids. Then you got a kid, and you're like, best thing that
Yeah.
happened to me. Would you say that this is something you think everybody should go through, having a kid? Like
No,
it's gonna be good for them.
I think it's really the personal choice. I mean, as much as I love Lucas and as much as he's my whole life,
Mhm.
like if I'm gonna be realistic about it, do I want another kid? No. But
Oh, really?
but that I feel like just because I don't want another kid doesn't mean I'm not gonna have one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wanna have kids because I want Lucas to have people to grow up with.
That's how I feel with.
But
Sorry, I feel like that with my dog, but it's not really the same. I want because she's alone. I like her to have playmates
no,
and
I mean,
kasama.
like I think it goes hand in
Uh huh.
hand.
Uh
Like
huh.
creatures are just naturally,
Social. Yeah.
yeah. Like we need other people to entertain us or keep us happy.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I came from a big family, like extended family. Like my mom has 9 siblings, so we're like 30 first cousins, and
Damn.
we're a very
9.
fertile family. Yeah,
Yes, you are. Oh nga, no. Okay, you
yeah.
never thought of
So
having that. Wait, you only have one sister though.
no, I have 2 sisters, but the other one lives in the States. So
Okay, two older sisters.
yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
So I've always uh the times that I did want a kid, I wanted 8. Yeah. But I
Okay.
mean, like, so I do want a big family. Like I know that that's in me. But after experiencing being a mom to one, like one is already a lot. Like,
Oh yeah.
that saying, like it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yes,
So
it
as much
does.
as, yeah, it really does. So if I'm gonna be realistic about it, one, I think that whoever I have a kid with, preferably my husband,
Uh-huh.
preferably my husband, I hope he's like a really good partner
Well,
and
I'm
dad.
pretty sure. I don't think you're gonna pick a partner that you think isn't gonna be a good partner.
No, but I mean, sometimes you don't know until
Oh,
it's
they can turn
there.
out
Like
like an
it just
asshole 10 years
happens.
after. Parang
No, I'm
ganon.
not saying like an asshole. Like I mean, someone that shares the same family values as you.
Oh,
Like
okay.
someone that wants to be, because like it's so easy to get distracted by all the things that happen in life, like whether that's work or your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope that he's as present as I can be. Someone that brings out the best in me. Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm that type of person. Like I need I need to for us to be on the same page for the best version of me to come out. And I want to be the best for my kid, right? But
Yeah.
then I don't think I can be if I'm the only one putting in the work. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. Is this something though? Is this something that's in the like in your goals? Like in my okay, our journeys are different, but in my 1.5 years, this is the longest I have been single, by the way, since you and I met in like first year high school.
This is
Um
also the longest I've been single since you and I met.
oh wait, what's your ano? What's your anniversary with yourself? Mine's September
Uh,
2020.
mine's
September.
October. Oh, yeah, mine's October 2019.
Oh, okay, congrats.
It's been a while.
So I think like people in my our situation, like we're so used to there being an other person. um I had to slowly accept that, you know what, life is okay, totally okay on my own. Like I think the only time it's gonna be right to get into a relationship is when I've kind of accepted that if I live the rest of my life by myself, it's still a good life. Like I don't need another person to complete me. So I'm not sure if we're the same track there, that that's how is that how you're going with when it comes to like being with yourself, no romantic partner.
Yeah,
Like you need to be
I
okay with
think
just yourself.
I think really the last few years that's one of my biggest takeaways. Like I'm completely happy with myself
Mhm.
and I don't need to be in a relationship to be happy. And I think that's also, I mean, like, it's actually a really great thing, because when you're at that stage of your life, you realize that, I mean, you're more selective. Like, you're
Yeah.
not just gonna date just anyone, because you know now what you want, you don't know what you
Yeah.
don't want. And you know, like, parang you're not just gonna accept anyone's attention, like anyone that gives you attention. Like, you wanna
Yeah.
like only accept like the people
You have higher
that
standards.
compliment you.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I wouldn't say
you
higher
wouldn't say higher
standards.
standards.
I mean,
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Okay, sorry. Yeah,
no, I
my
mean,
terminology. Wait, what's a better way? What would be a better way? A more accurate um term.
I think you're just, I mean, yeah, you could say higher standards, but like the way I see it, you're just more selective who you want to share your time with.
Yeah, wait, sorry. Yeah, because higher standards means it's like you're going higher and like, oh, because you're not good enough for me. That's why it's not about you being like it's not point system that it's like, oh, you have to reach 85 points out of 100 to be my
Yeah,
type.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
it's more of like, oh, I want the it's like picking between colors. Ah, shit. Is that the best analogy? That's the best I can have right now. It's like, oh, doesn't mean one color is better than the other, but you're like, no, I only like these colors. So it's not necessarily higher, but it's just you're more selective guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, anyway, so
Yeah,
with
and
that,
that's, I
kasi,
think that's exactly it. Yeah.
okay.
What?
Ganyan pala ang analogy
No,
ko.
no, no, because like, you know, like people aren't, like, I don't believe that when like a relationship doesn't work out, I don't believe it's because you weren't good enough for that person or they weren't good enough for you. I just believe that at the time you guys were of two different puzzles and the pieces just didn't fit.
Uh-huh.
Like, you have to find someone that that matches you or complements you.
Yeah. Yeah, but with that, let me follow with your puzzle analogy. So that kasi parang the idea of, oh, you have to there's someone that's gonna fit with you. Parang it relies on other person. Eh. But in that whole track of being all I'm my own person, I don't need another person. Is it still in your like life plan? Like, do you still wanna marry someone? Do you still wanna end up with a romantic partner, or are you fully like it's okay, me and Luki till the end, baby?
I think a little bit of both. Like, obviously, like, I still want to get married, mostly because like I want a wedding. Like, I've planned my wedding
Wow,
ever
you already
since I was
have.
I'm one of those girls. Like, I've planned my wedding like
Okay.
ever since I was in high school.
Okay.
So I want to get married. I mean, I want to have a wedding.
Mhm.
Marriage, I don't know. I have
Mm.
commitment issues. I have commitment
Okay.
issues. So
Okay.
the guy has to be like really fucking special for me to
Yeah.
tie my. Can you imagine like your whole life down to one person? Like,
Yeah.
the
Like
guy, yeah, it's crazy.
one of the things I thought about this like before I got on this call. Because I turn on my aircon every time I have a podcast because I don't know the vibe of it is like, oh, work time aircon, but it's like the temperature. If you enter the room, you wouldn't really feel like there's aircon, but that's me. That's my weirdness.
Yeah,
It's but like the people I've dated and even people I haven't dated, normally like the aircon to be like colder, like 7.
yeah.
I'm usually like I'm at a 5. But if you get married to someone, you're gonna have to someone's gonna
Adjust.
have to adjust to your aircon every single night. Or even if you don't, I don't always have aircon. But what if I marry someone with aircon? Or what if we don't like watching
Yeah.
the same Netflix show? And you have to share a bed and a baño? Damn, okay, yeah. So I think I'm with you with that. It's a little bit of both. I kinda wanna end up with someone, but at the same time, it's like shit, hassle if I have to
Yeah, no, like,
end up with
I
someone.
think like it came to a point where I just had to accept. I was like, I would be okay, or I would be even happy, even if it was just me and Luki. And that's because like
Yeah.
he fills my life so much. Like, I
Okay.
hardly have time for myself. So,
Mhm.
like, it's hard for me to even find time for a relationship.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, you're a very, very busy person. Is there something different you wish happened? Like, is there something you wish that Danny knew at that time, or parang nope, you know exactly what you should know, and you're gonna go through the path you were meant to go to exactly be where I am today. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like um the way that I see life is kind of the same way that I dealt with my pregnancy. Like when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't read up about like delivering or like things like that, because
Uh-huh.
for me it was something that I had to go through no matter what. So I don't want to like oversight myself with the like with what I'm gonna have to deal with. So I feel
Yeah.
like it's the same with that picture. Like I wouldn't tell myself anything
Anything different.
because I'd prefer to learn through my own experience.
Gets. Damn. Wait, was your birth like a natural? Like how was it in the
Yeah,
labor
it was a
terms?
normal birth.
Hospital anesthesia.
Yeah, epidural. Epidural is your best friend.
What's the
Okay, wait.
Okay, please talk to
I'm
me.
not gonna like I'm not gonna shit on moms that choose like the natural way to deliver,
Mm-hmm.
like no drugs. But like epidural is really, it's literally like it's life changing. It's the best thing I have ever
Uh-huh.
tried in my life.
What is it? Wait, sorry. You're talking about in terms of pregnancy or you're just talking about the things you have tried in life? Yo, epidural, yung tama mo dito, yung amats na to, that's the one. Kasi, no, I'll be curious now. Is it something that you gotta be pregnant to try? Ah,
Yes.
okay, okay,
You-
okay. Okay, sorry.
it's
So please.
basically like
Yeah.
an anesthesia in your spine, and it's actually, I think this was one of the things that scared me the most about delivering, just because if it goes wrong, you can be like paralyzed for life. Yeah.
Whoa, okay, and it's still the
So
best.
it's one of those things like the high might not be worth the risk,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
Wait. Yeah. Sorry. Go on. I have follow
no,
ups
but I mean like
after.
they've been using this form of anesthesia for years, and it's
Uh-huh.
like the most common form of anesthesia. So it's relatively safe, but there's all and I'm that person that
What's the
always
risk?
thinks like, but what if you're that like 0.1%?
Yeah,
Because you
gets.
never know.
Yeah. Whenever I have that, I had two examples in my mind. I like going to the chiropractor, but just like once or twice a year because it's pretty expensive. Um, there is a tiny percent. Like if that guy, I don't know, having a bad day or something, I don't know, may galit siya sa akin. I could be paralyzed also if I go to the chiropractor, but I still
Yeah,
go. The same thing as like I can still. I mean, I still drive a car and I still ride cars, even if there's always a chance. Every time you step into a car, there's a chance that you're gonna die or there's a chance you get into a car crash, but you still do it anyway. Wait, but anyway, I want
that's
to go back to
actually
this. Oh, sorry. Go. I have a question about the epidural thing after. Go.
no. I was just gonna say like it's actually really funny that you brought up like being like riding a car and being like afraid that you might crash, because when I was pregnant, I started getting like road anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Being on the
I
road,
would get
like
anxious every
not just seeing
yeah,
a
like
road.
whether yeah, being on the road, like
Okay,
whether I'm in
hassle. Okay.
like a passenger. Okay, I don't drive, so yeah, like when I'm riding a car or whatever, like I would get so anxious, it's like I couldn't breathe because parang suddenly I was when I was pregnant, because I was like afraid that there's like a life inside me now and I can't
Oh,
control it from like outside forces.
yeah. Shit. How do you go to
So
the
yeah, that made
hospital?
me super anxious. It was super funny. So I like my 7th month I went into false labor, and so I called my baby daddy and I was like, you have to take me to the hospital, like like something's not right, or like I think I'm
Yeah.
like
Like
in
your
labor or
water
whatever.
your water broke already
No,
at
no, no,
seven
no,
months.
no.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. Just
I had like pains,
mm,
and my OB suggested that I went to the NICU, which is like a ICU for um babies.
uh
So he was driving to the hospital and he was driving so slow. So slow. And I remember like vividly, I looked at him and I was like, if I actually am giving birth right now, I might give birth in this car. Like, why are
shit.
you driving so slow all of a sudden? And it's funny because like after that, my dad, I think, picked me up from school one of those days. And then on the way home, he was driving so fast. And I was like, see, like I was just telling, my baby daddy, like, if he takes me to the hospital, then like I might give birth in the car because he
Yeah.
drives so slow. And then here's my dad that drives so
So
fast. And I
fast.
was like, um, well, if he drives me to the hospital, hospital, then I might give birth in the car anyway because like I might just get so stressed.
Oh, yeah, I get.
Luckily for me, they were both unavailable when I actually went into
Oh, so
labor. So
who brought you?
my tita's driver.
Oh, okay.
Just, he was in the middle.
Okay. Well,
I got there
katang-tama
on
nga.
time.
I would imagine that's tough though, kasi it's I don't know if you're driving your baby mama to the hospital, you don't want to drive you don't want to drive too fast that it gets dangerous. But you don't want to drive too slow also that it's gonna take so much time. So you're fucked either way. I think you just gotta accept that you're fucked.
No, but it's actually funny. There were a lot of like myths about pregnancy.
Uh-huh.
Not even myths, but like the way that we learn about pregnancy, like there's so much that we don't know. Like for example,
Okay, what did you
pregnancy
learn?
is actually 10 months.
No, no
Right?
way.
Right?
No way. No,
Yeah.
you're wait,
Yes.
what is this source? Are you telling me that generations of knowledge is wrong? Like what is this? Is this like this
It's
can't be like
not
a Wikipedia.
it's not that it's wrong, but like in general, pregnancies go from 36 weeks to 40. So that's 9 to 10 months because
Okay,
you
okay.
could give birth anytime between the ninth and 10th month.
Okay. How many weeks did you take?
Mine was literally the first day of my ninth month.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So,
then
okay, it's 9 to
and
10 months. Okay.
your water doesn't always break. Like I think a bigger majority of the time they pop your water bag. What is that what it's called? Yeah, they just pop it manually like when
Yeah.
you're already delivering.
Oh, okay. So how the hell do you know if it's time? I don't know. All the movies, it's like there's wet, and then that's when we go. That's my cue.
So you have like contractions, and then for me I had like
All
back
right.
pains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But
wait,
the contractions were so minor that it's like you might not even realize that you're
gets
in labor.
gets what?
At least for me.
So you took that what's it called? Epidural.
Epidural.
Epidural. Like does that just? So was it not painful? Was the birthing process not painful at all?
So I was in labor for 16 hours, I think.
Wait, that's not
So
in pain for 16 hours. That's not for 16 hours naman, diba? That's not what
it's
it
not
means.
like incredible pain for 16 hours.
16
But I think maybe around the 14th hour, they were like, you've been here like too long. Like we're gonna give you I think it was oxytocin. So they like
Uh-huh.
injected me. I think they injected me. They said they gave me oxytocin
Yeah.
to speed up my contractions.
Mm-hmm.
To speed up my contractions, and then like maybe like an hour after they gave me the oxytocin, when it finally
When it
kicked
hit.
in, yeah, that's when it was like 1 hour of like insane pain. But luckily enough, I was dilated enough that I could go into labor already.
Uh-huh.
So we like waited for my doctor, and then she gave me my epidural, and then I went straight to the delivery room.
Oh, only it was in the last
So I got
hour.
really lucky.
Like
Yeah, it was in
you
the
only took the
last
drug
hour.
in the okay, okay.
And no, I mean like you can choose to get it earlier, but my doctor told me na parang if you can hold in the pain, like if you can make it tiis, then just make it tiis, because once you get the epidural, it slows down the birthing process.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
okay.
like made it tiis
No follow-ups.
until I
Okay.
couldn't.
Yeah.
I think you can get like a second dose, but then
Yeah.
yeah, I was really lucky because as soon as I got my epidural, I really like went into labor. And that's another reason why I don't want to, like, I don't want to, but I'm not sure if I want to have another kid. It's
Because
because it's like, one, so many things could go wrong during
yeah.
the 9 months that you're pregnant. And it's so hard, like, just thinking about it and being anxious like the whole 9 months, because you really can't control like whatever happens inside you. Like sometimes things just go wrong, right?
Yeah, even if you do
And
everything right.
yeah. And then like also the delivery. Like I don't know if that's something that I want to go through again,
Uh-huh.
because so many things could go wrong.
Yeah. But then have you ever thought about this? Like your mom, you said your mom, she has nine siblings, meaning they're a family of 10, right? 10 siblings. Was it easier back then? Like you just had one kid and we have more technology. We have more like knowledge, diba? And
Yeah.
we supposedly got this whole thing in life. Like supposedly by this generation, we got a better grasp of life. But how come for some reason Like my dad, family of 6, my mom, family of 5. Not us, family of 3 lang. Just like you.
Yeah.
But how come no? Like have you ever thought about that? Like why is it harder now, or like were they just oblivious before and that's what made it easier?
I think it was more of like the norm, like societal norm.
Fuck, hassle nun. Kahit ayaw mo na, fuck, this is what society says eh. Isa pa! Isa
No,
pa!
but I mean like not necessarily that. I think like it was easier to have more kids back in the day.
Oh,
Like
like, oh yeah,
financially and
a house and shit.
living conditions, yeah.
Mm.
So I think maybe it was, and I feel like kasi the older generations, they're a lot more religious. So it's like this is my purpose in life, to like birth.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's kind of changed na, no? Like, because that is like a human, I don't know, like animals, creatures. That is their main purpose. Like you're born, you eat, sleep, fuck, make some kids, then you die. Parang that's like the natural
Yeah.
order of life. But now it's different. It's like you're born, you discover your purpose, you do all these highfalutin shit. So yeah, I think that's what changed. Okay. Um let's play a game. Let's end this.
Okay.
Let's end this with a game. So it's time to play FausTalk. So how this game goes, I'm gonna ask you a
Okay.
question. Answer the first thing that comes into your head. No right or wrong answers. You can give an explanation if you want. Okay. Start off very simple. Actually, not. I don't know if it's super simple. But what is your favorite book?
Book.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I can't. I can't pick, but I feel like
Top of your head.
because yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I feel like it would be my favorite book.
You know what is your answer? Even if I would disagree, that is your answer. How is it your favorite? So what is this book that you haven't read? But this cover of
So
this book is so fucking good. And the artist, the author name, the title,
okay, wait, no. I can answer. I can answer your question, but my hypothetical favorite book is
that you haven't read.
yeah, that I haven't read, but I feel like it'll be a great book. It's basically called the book the book you wish your parents had read, and yeah, the book you wish your parents had read, your kids will like thank you later, something like that. Wait,
Okay,
let me
you know
find
what?
the exact
Wait, you
title.
know what? That is a good ass title, man. That's a
Have you read it?
no.
Yeah.
I know it as good as you do, but that's a good title. The parents
The
you wish
book.
the book you wish your parents. Yeah, there you
The
go.
book you wish your parents had read, and your children will be glad that you did.
Wow. Okay, I get it because you're in the middle now. You have the parents, and then you have the kid.
Yeah.
Wait. Follow up question. Not on the game though. Is there something that stands out as a learning? Like did you have any epiphany or like a huge realization in your journey about being a mom, which helped you understand your mom more? Was there anything specific that you could comes to the top of your mind?
Yeah. I mean, I think because you know, I feel like when I was younger, I take my mom for granted more. Like some my sisters might say I was like an entitled, spoiled brat.
Uh-huh.
And I think, sometimes that still comes out. But I think I really learned to appreciate my mom more because, and I don't know if she'll agree with me, but I hope that it shows. I think that Siargao trip was very helpful
Uh-huh.
in helping me realize that, because it's so hard to be a mom, and there are times when you just want everything to like pause, but you can't, because like you always have to keep going for your kid.
Yeah.
Like your kid is always like at the top of your head. Like your world doesn't stop for anyone but your kid.
Yeah. When the wait, shit, I had a nice realization, right? No, with the mom thing. Yeah, kasi ever all I know about my mom, as in the person who my mom is, Rose Fausto, is always been a mom. Like the moment I was born, she was already this is her third time being a mom with me. So all I ever knew was about her being a mom. And now as I graduated college, as I tried to look for a job, good, and I thought, wow, shit, this is something my parents had to go through. Like all this shit and all the problems I'm going through now, like they've gone through it and then they had kids. And then they started.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a whole nother person that my parents were before I even entered their lives. And that was the one that kind of fucked my mind a little bit.
Dude, I think about that all the time. Like, it's so crazy to me how we don't know, like, not even just our parents, but like our titos and titas, our grandparents. Like, we don't know who they were before we came into their lives.
Yeah. And we're gonna be
Like,
them. I say no
yeah.
matter it's gonna be we're gonna have different words, but no matter what happens, like in one way or another, we're gonna be them. Like if I see my dad's batchmates, there's a lot of bald people, taba. Like I would hear like alam mo, gwapo yan noon or heartthrob yan noon. And then now we're not yet, but slowly, like we're just 25, 26, we're slowly seeing of like, oh, this guy's the one who peaked in high school. Oh, this is the one who like no matter what you thought you were in high school and college, that shit's gonna change, and you're just gonna end up. We're all just gonna end up like the older generation, and then the same with the
Yeah.
younger generation.
That's why,
With
like,
our
it's so
generation.
important, to like stay humble and stay kind. Because
Boom.
if you were the shit in like high school or college,
Do you think
like
you were the shit in high school?
things change. In high school,
Mm-hmm.
uh I mean, I think I was just like doing what made me happy.
Fucking humble. Okay, you know what? That was right. You're being truth because you just said you should always be humble, and then that's just what you. Correct answer, by the way.
Why you think I was the shit?
No, I'm
Just
not gonna
kidding.
say anything. I did think though, planning parties was the shit. I wanted to say this, dude. You were doing the Lord's work for. Were you really in Siargao? Like, were you really planning parties for people? Like that was really the thing. Like, how did word go around? Like, people from Manila go to Siargao and go like, Dani. Okay, this is the side story of when we saw each other in Siargao. People from Manila go to Siargao and then go to you. Cause like, Dani, I want to party. Because obviously in Manila, this was like when I was there, it was like October, November. So it was still very pandemic-y. Like, no, vaccines were just new. Yeah. I was vaccinated na. Vaccines were still a new thing. You were planning parties in Siargao, and that's how I randomly ended up DJing for one of your parties. Like, did you really go there to plan parties, or did it just happen that, oh, Dani Marcos is
No,
here in
okay.
Siargao?
So
We can party, motherfuckers.
we went to your event in Greenhouse, right? There
Uh-huh.
was like a Halloween party there.
Yeah.
Um, but my nephew was also there with his friends, and they didn't guest list early enough, so they couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And so like I asked like on a group chat like who had plans for Halloween, and a big majority of people didn't. So I made like a group chat, and I was like, whoever doesn't have plans on Halloween, like let's just make something happen.
Yeah.
And then um it ended up, dude, from maybe like 10 to 20 people, we ended up being 70 at a certain point. Sorry, so not pandemic friendly.
Hey, wait, okay, yeah. Honestly though, I was also a little scared, like, oh, sharing drinks and stuff. And then I got home, gave it a few weeks, got tested. Shit, thank God. That's really. I already got COVID in March 2021, and I didn't want to go through that shit again. And it was one of those, yup. Hopefully, I'm just gonna look back and be like, yeah, I was pretty fucking irresponsible, but gotta do what you
So
gotta
like
do.
in my head, it was more of like, it was just something that I wanted to do for my nephew. Like I wanted him to have a good time.
Bait
You know,
naman ni
as an ate.
tita. Puta.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very mom thing of you, the just figuring shit out. Like, oh, there's no and okay, the police was just were shutting down not all, but select institutions and establishments. Like they would just come in and close the party. So
Yeah.
actually it was buti nga lang din that you were in that party that I was in and it got close because that's how I ended up in the one that you hosted, and that
Yeah.
was one of my favorite like sets ever.
It was a fun night.
Playing for all the YGs. Yeah, that
I
was a fun.
sprained my ankle pa. I have never, oh my gosh. You know, in all the times that I have been drunk, that night was the only night that I ever hurt myself. Like,
How did you sprain your ankle again?
I have no idea. I just woke up the next day in my bed with
Makes
like my
sense.
foot
Oh.
band-aid. Like, no, they brought me to the clinic.
Yeah. I remember saying bye to you and you were on the floor. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Wait, random
Like
question.
my ankle popped off. It was so bad. Do you want to see a picture?
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to see a picture?
I do. This is the most
Okay.
disgusting thing I want to see, you know.
No, I mean it didn't
Nothing
look
more.
that bad.
Has Luki ever? Have you ever talked to your son while you were drunk?
Yeah,
Does he know the
yeah.
difference?
I won't go into detail. It might sound irresponsible.
No, okay. My mom doesn't drink. Eh. Like I
Oh,
know. Like even I guess normal. Like I don't think being drunk is a bad thing. My mom's never gonna. My mom's never gotten drunk and drove me, naman. Eh. Also, because she's
yeah.
never driven me for like the past 20 years. But I don't know what it's like. Like I've always seen my parents as just this person. But if you're drunk, you're kind of a different version of yourself. Eh. Wait, sorry. Go show me the
Well,
picture
I
first.
think with me cassettes, like, um, I'm either like tipsy or drunk.
Are gone. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think Lucas has seen me to the point where I was like gone.
Oh, she
I'm
hasn't
still
met.
a responsible drinker.
Yun. Okay. Okay. I respect that. Wait, please show
So
me the picture. Whoa. Wait a minute.
can you see it? It like popped
Yeah.
off, dude. And then so I woke up the next day like this.
God damn. Oh, okay. Oh, you had a bonus one. You had a bonus in your knee. Oh, that's just a scrape. That's just a wound.
Oh,
Huh?
dude, you should see my thighs. Wait, yeah. So these were my knees after. And
Whoa,
then
who did this to you? You
wait,
did
that's
this
not
to
even
you.
the worst. Look at this one. It
How
was
come
like,
girls, girl, I don't know, is it girls' legs? Because I don't know, we go through the same things in life, no? Like it's not normal for guys to show their legs, but then like I don't know, being in a team with dancers, normally like girls would always show like grabe yung bukos nila and stuff. But I don't
yeah.
know, we do the same moves. What is it with women's legs?
Well, I think like when it's closer to your period, you bruise easily.
Oh
I
shit!
don't know if this was like near my period. I don't remember anymore. But then
Damn.
that was like the most banged up I've ever gotten. Like
Yeah,
ever. Like I don't usually have bruises.
yeah,
Like if I do, they're like small ones. But this
yeah.
one was like, it was insane.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
It's a Bruce. It's a Bruce banner.
yeah.
Hi, next question. That was just our first. That was the first one for the game. Wait, sorry. So your favorite book that you have? What you had
Oh
another
yeah.
book though that you
So
actually read?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's just one of the more recent ones that I've read.
Uh huh.
So first, I'm just gonna say like Colleen Hoover. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She has really good books if you're into novels. But what I was going to talk about is the modern breakup. So it's
Oof.
basically, yeah, it's. I mean, I
Break up
think
na
you might like this.
naman. Yeah,
It's
give me
not
this shit,
really.
man. I want to read this.
Yeah, it's an easy read, and it's not really about like it's not a self-help book or anything. I think it's pretty much a novel, but it uses like real life experiences or situations, and it's a good take into modern dating, like how
Mm,
most of the time like we shut people off so easily before like we even get to know them. Like for example, like pretend like you ask me out on a date
uh-huh.
and I'm like, um but like pretend I'll be like, oh, but he's a dancer. I'm not really like into dancers, so I'll like
Okay, okay.
like immediately like shut you out
Because of
without
that.
even giving without even giving you like the chance to show me like why I should give you a chance,
Yeah.
right? So I
Who am
think it
I
was
beyond being a dancer? Ganon.
yeah. So I think it's like a really interesting read.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna check the book out. Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you, thank you. Favorite but not so favorite. Doesn't have to be your favorite. This next one. Movie. That you've watched naman, please ha. Hindi nga forget. Gago ganda ng title na to ah. It's probably my favorite movie.
Favorite movie, I think maybe Love Rosie.
Ooh, okay. I see that you are really into this. Okay. Love Rose, is that the one with Lily Call? No, is that the one with Lily Collins?
Wait, I think it's either Lily Collins or Anne Hathaway.
No, it
Um,
can't be. Is this the one where it's like a best
no,
friend with
I think it's Lily Collins. Yeah, yeah, it's Lily Collins.
with the guapo guy who was in the wheelchair in the other movie with the nice
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
chin?
yeah,
That guy. Okay.
yeah.
There you go. Here we go. Mom questions time. Favorite children's song? Is it Baby Shark?
Children's song.
There's
No, it's
gotta be
definitely
one.
not. Oh, it's the one that goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
No, what's the name of the song?
I don't know. I don't know if it has a name, but just I
Do
won't
you
sing it for you because I'm kind of tone deaf.
favorite thing about being a mom?
Favorite thing, I think it's being able to watch someone grow up and be with them like every step of the way.
Gets.
Like literally forming a person. Which, favorite but hardest part. But like you really have to like form them like from their
Yeah.
values, like their habits.
You
Like
kind of have
literally
to.
their whole life depends on you.
You kind of have to, in a
Yeah.
way, this is the worst way of saying it, but you kind of have to manipulate them into becoming a, like, I'm seeing now, oh shit, this is why my standards are like this. Or like, my parents would make us, sorry, they didn't make us, they would have us perform for them at night. Like, whatever poems we learned at school, songs, dances, gonna. And I think that's why the thing, my brothers and I were all like performer, confident in speaking, gonna. It's like my mom planted the seeds for that type of shit. Do you ever get worried though that, as like, since you are forming this child, as much as you can make him a great person, you can easily also really fuck it up. Like you can destroy a
Yeah.
life.
Dude, that's my like worst fear. Like I really don't want to fuck up my kid, dude.
God.
Like and it's so hard. Like, like I think like at the age of 2, I was like trying to teach him like consent, which
Oh
is really hard.
yeah.
Yeah. No, because I mean he grew up um around like a lot of girls and like he's a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I'm very malambing as a person and he's also very malambing that I think like at a certain point like I had to start like enforcing like if I wanted to kiss him I had to ask for his permission, like I had to wait for him to say yes. So that went on for a little while. I feel like I have to restart that
Oh, okay.
because I think at the age that I introduced it to him
Two.
he wasn't like, yeah, he couldn't like comprehend it. But yeah, I mean it's hard to be a parent. Like you could
Yeah.
really fuck up your kids.
Yeah. Oh my god. How many times have I blamed my kid? And then if I think of having a kid, that motherfucker can easily blame me for everything too. Man. Wait, sorry, random though. What was the first? Do you remember his first word?
It was, I mean, like when they're younger, they just like mumble shit.
Uh-huh.
So it was
Shit,
yaya.
shit. He was saying that?
He
Mumble
used to
shit.
say he used to say
Sorry.
shit, but no, like his first word was yaya.
Ooh.
But he didn't have a yaya at the time, so I wasn't really like
Oh.
offended.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
more of like a yeah, yeah. Not really yeah, yeah.
It was
It's
like
just
just like a sound that he knew. Like yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay, it's good. I don't know if you've answered this now with what we talked about, but what's the most challenging thing about being a mom
The most, yeah, I think it's
that you can?
connects with the last question. Like you could
Yes.
easily fuck up. Well, I mean, like there's a lot.
Yeah.
But I
For
think
sure.
that has to be like,
Number one.
because it's not really just about you. It's about someone else's life.
Okay. Okay, how about like okay, number two then? Like what's like the next one? Like that's like the obviously parang because it's dealing with another person's life, that's the most challenging thing. But like is there another
I
one?
think the hardest is balance.
Mm.
So like being able to fulfill all of your needs as a person while still being able to take care of your kids'
Yeah.
needs.
I always go back to the airplane analogy of like when the oxygen masks fall, you have to put the mask on your face first before you put it on your kids.
Yeah.
I used to think it was
And I
selfish,
think
like me first, but
yeah,
then
yeah,
oh,
yeah, me too.
but you have to do it. Like if you can't breathe, how the hell are you gonna help me breathe?
Yeah, and I think that like it's something that like a lot of people don't understand. Like to be a good parent, you have to be in the best frame of mind for yourself also. Like if you need a
Gets.
break, fucking take that break.
Yeah.
Like
You gotta
people,
eat,
okay,
pray, love.
yeah, yeah, and like okay, I went to Siargao and I wouldn't say that my family understood why I needed to do it, but
Uh-huh.
they were accepting of it.
Yeah.
Like they I wouldn't say they supported the idea, but they accepted it. And some of my friends told me like they like people would ask them like why was Dani in Siargao for so long? Like doesn't she have a
You have a
kid?
kid. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and for me it's like I've been at home with my kid for like 2 whole fucking years. Like can I not take a break? Like
Yeah.
I'm a single working mom.
Mm-hmm.
I was also like a full-time mom and at the time I was also a teacher. So like sometimes you just need to take a break. Like who cares what everyone else thinks? Like you have to do what what helps you feel better.
Yeah. And in the end, that's how you in your book, in your ways, that's how you are being a good mom. Because you can
You have to
resent
take
it,
care of
right?
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that with my sorry again, this is I would just compare it with my dog. I feel that like there are times like I need to take a break and not see this motherfucker for just a day, man. Just I don't
What
want to hear
kind of
you
dog do you
bark
have?
or it's a beagle. So it's a very, very rowdy. It's a girl. Her name's
Okay.
Jess. We almost have the same birthday. She's December 6th. I'm December 7th.
Me and
Um,
Luki.
are December
I'm
6th and
May.
7? That would be really
Yes, we
wild.
are. We
We
are.
have the same experiences.
No, I'm May 16. He's May 18.
Oh,
So we're two Tauruses, very
shit. I
stubborn.
was about to say, did you plan it? You probably didn't plan for his birthday to be there. 'Cause-
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
yeah. Anyway,
No, and like, yeah, but yeah. Wait, I was gonna say something.
go.
What were we? What were we? Oh,
Same
so you were
birthday?
saying like your dog always barks, right?
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that I really learned to appreciate, like as a mom, like
Uh-huh.
quiet time. Because when you have a kid around,
Oh.
oh my God, there is no quiet time. Like it's either they're like watching something or they're talking to you or like they like kids need a lot of attention. Like,
Oh
they
yeah.
want someone to play with.
Yeah.
And so um what I learned to appreciate during this pandemic was really like my quiet time. And I think that's why like I'm kind of nocturnal because it's the only time in the day
Yes.
where that I really have to myself.
Okay, this one. Kids have it easier today because blank.
As in Lukey's age.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
suck
yeah.
at this game. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
Kids have it easier. I honestly I wouldn't say that they do. Like I think growing up as a pandemic baby is really hard because you don't get social interaction, you don't get proper education, which are two very critical things
Uh-huh.
in growing up. But I think that with all that said, what's good about this pandemic is that they get a lot of time with their parents.
Okay. Oh. I think this I don't worry too much about how the generation is gonna turn out. Like they're gonna figure out their own shit the same way we did. Like it's always gonna be different.
Yeah.
Eh? Like, I'm sure
I
our
mean, we're
parents.
all yeah.
Yeah. What did
No,
you
yeah. We're
say?
all like handed like different circumstances, but we find a way to make it work.
Young. That's exactly. Next question. Proudest mom moment.
Proudest mom moment. I think it was when he got better at football because he likes. I mean, like he's always kind of like been into football. I don't know if he was into it or I kind of like ingrained it in him. But then, like when he started kicking the
Manipulate.
ball, when he started kicking the ball without like touching the ball, I was like,
Wait.
"Ow."
Wait a minute. How do you kick a ball without touching it?
Think about that question.
Oh, with your
Why would you?
hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My bad. My bad.
Got you
Okay,
there.
no, wait. Apart from like, I think like proudest mom moment are two things. Basically, when he learns to do things on his own, and he's like actually excited and happy to do it, and emotionally when he's what's that term when you're like intuitive to other people's emotions.
Oh,
Yeah.
empathetic.
Yeah. Empathetic.
Okay. So it's basically them being good people. That's the one where you. It goes back to
Yeah.
like because that means you are doing a good job.
Am I? Let's
Oh
see
yeah.
in like 10 years.
I think I mean the fact you're having those moments, diba? I think that's take the win, take the dub.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
scariest mom moment.
When Lucas gets fevers,
Oh,
especially during the pandemic.
he's never had COVID, naman.
No.
Okay.
But like there was like this one time during the pandemic, he got like a really, really high fever. And he was like super matamlay. And that's like unlike him. Like usually when he's sick, like he still can play or like
Yeah.
eat. But like that time he was really like matamlay, like just in bed.
So what
So that
was
was
it?
scary. I think it was just like a flu.
Shit. That parang kids always have those stuff. Like my brother had typhoid. My other brother had like a weird thing with his intestine. I had asthma, and I feel like it's the parents have to go through that of like, holy shit, is my kid gonna die moments, and then it just goes away. Like I've heard it so many
Yeah.
times, or I only hear it from the kids who actually survived to tell the story. Baka ganun din.
No, but I have a friend recently and she got COVID. And so after like a few days of like isolating, she and her kid got tested and her kid ended up being negative. But
Okay.
later that, and he wasn't showing symptoms, and this was already like after she had shown her symptoms. After that, later that day, he randomly had a seizure. Yeah, and so she was like panicking. Like if she could have easily like fucked it up, and like that's it. Like her kid could have not lived to see
Yeah.
another day. But she got lucky. God was watching after her.
So
So
what do you do in a seizure? Like, how do you play it right? How do you
well, so what she did was, because she recalled watching or reading like Isabel Daza's blog.
boom? Isabel Daza saves life.
Yeah, so she started like splashing her kid's face with water until he woke up, and after that they went straight to the ER.
Damn. I have the random thought though when you said God was watching. Man, I do agree God was watching, but I'd have to disagree when it comes to like, so if a kid has a seizure and doesn't make it, that means God stopped watching him?
Okay, okay, my mistake for wording that
It's
wrong.
it's the sorry,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
I mean,
point
okay,
out your
I think the way that I see life is really like, if it's your time, it's your time.
oh, okay. We just don't understand why it's their time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think like every time something happens, like there's always a reason. Like God had a plan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When I look at in that same topic, I look at the analogy of like a basketball game. So Ateneo versus Lasal, one team wins, one team loses, obviously. But I'm pretty sure people believe in God in both sides. Like, just because we made the shot and we won, what does that mean we're God's favorites? Anyway, no need to get into that, right? Is there anything you wanted to say with that? I'll go
Oh, I
back
was
to
just
the
gonna say, like, maybe one team is more religious than the other. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna bring like God into fucking sports,
yeah,
but
yeah. Oh,
I
but
don't
we
know. Maybe
bring
I think
God
it has to do with
everywhere.
skills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
as
Okay.
as Filipinos, right? Because like religion is such a big thing in our
Yeah.
country. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I'm the most religious person,
Did you become more
but like I think
religious?
it's
Sorry,
less.
I cut you. When you became a mom?
Yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, I stopped going to church when I became a mom, but not because I stopped believing in God. Like I still believe in God. I just believe that wherever, because you know how they always say like God is always listening.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, I kind of didn't really see the point of going to church, because when I was there, I was always distracted. Like I was in my head. So I felt like it meant more the times that I chose to talk to God, the
Hmm.
times that I chose to give to God, rather than me being
Kasi
physically in
kailangan.
church but not there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, I still believe that it's really important to have faith and to believe in a higher being, to believe in God. I think that it keeps you grounded.
And sane.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Last few. Promise, last few. One thing you want to do
don't
before you're
worry, dude.
30.
One thing I want to do before I'm 30, become a millionaire.
Okay. Current LSS.
Cold heart.
Until now. Or just recently.
Yeah, just recently. Like I stopped for a while,
And
but
then you
I
got back on your shit, on your cold.
yeah.
Okay. A song you'd recommend me to listen to. I like to
Hmm.
ask my guests this. Just I always like discovering new
I
songs with
only
people I meet.
I only listen to like sad songs. I don't know if you're gonna vibe with any of my music.
Good. No, no, it's okay. It doesn't don't make it a song that you think I'm gonna like. Like just what's a
Okay.
song that you would recommend? Like, oh, this is a good song. This is art.
Hmm. Oh my god, I love Taylor Swift's All Too Well, the 10-minute version.
You know what? I have not because you guessed it. I am going to listen to this.
You have not
All too.
listened to it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you know what? At first I didn't like it. I mean, not that I didn't like it, but I just didn't get it. I didn't get the appeal. But like the more I kept listening to it, the more I was
Okay.
like, damn, it's a work of art.
Okay. Well, I do not disagree in any way that Taylor Swift is a generational talent and she's one of the best musicians in our time. But well, yeah,
She's a lyrical mastermind.
Oh, is she? Okay, okay, fine.
I mean, like, okay, I think
Get
like
into that.
her and John Mayer, they're pretty up there.
Oh yeah,
Like though
I
they're
get
very
that one.
poetic, yeah, and the way that they really make you feel through their songs and like
Mm.
relate, I think that's a talent.
Okay, I get it. Wait, kasi the 10-minute version, dude. Yeah, it was the pinaka-hype track eh. The All Too Well. It's the one that people, it's the one with the music video. Was it Jake Gyllenhaal? Was it Jake Gyllenhaal? Was he the one who got fucked over?
I'm not good with the actors'
Ah,
names
okay.
and stuff like
Um,
that.
but with the
Like I
10,
know their
like,
faces.
the only time I'd listen to it, the only 10-minute song, actually, do you know the song Operator by
Yeah,
Lapsley? There's a, because
yeah,
that's my shit. Like the DJ Cozy edit. There's a
yeah.
10-minute version, and that's my cleanup song. Like when I'm with my friends and we're gonna, like, usually when I go to my friend's house, we stay in the balcony and then we're gonna transfer to like the the room with the movie and stuff. So you have to clean up all your stuff, then you have to transfer. So I play Operator, the
So it
ten
takes you
minute
10
song.
minutes.
So yeah, because you think that 10 minutes isn't long, but God, it's so long, pala. So this is gonna be
It
a long 10
is.
minutes. All too well. Okay. Um.
No, you have to like learn to appreciate the song.
Yeah. 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 It was my job then, man. Like I used to work
Do
in
you
Mix, so it
like
was
Taylor
my.
Swift?
Um. I'd
Do you like
say
it?
I like her as much as I like BTS. It's like, oh, they're good artists, but I don't. They're not in my rotation. Like they're not in
Yeah.
my. I never have a Taylor Swift mood. I'm never like, yo, it's time for
Okay.
some. It's like I'm on an Adele mood right now. Like, but I
Okay.
don't always listen to her. But there's some moods. It's like, damn, just give me
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
make you feel my love. Hi.
I wouldn't say
Um,
like Taylor Swift is my favorite artist either, but she's great.
who's your favorite artist? Do you have
My
one?
favorite artist. I can give you my favorite song.
Okay, it is.
It's Passenger Seat by Stephen Speaks.
Oh, really? Is it the something about like a parking lot and the tree paradise? Is that the one?
No. A
Paradise,
Tree
walk up
Paradise.
a park, and is that the
No.
one?
No, that's not the
On and
one.
on it seem to go, and I don't know what you got
What
till
you
it's
got till
gone.
it's
Yeah,
gone.
a tree
No, that's not it.
paradise, foot of a parking. That's the song, right?
Is that no, isn't that Big Yellow Taxi? Something
Ay,
like that.
shit, yeah. How does
Passenger
passenger
seat
seat go?
is I look at her and have to
Just
smile as we go driving
there.
for a
Okay.
while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, those are the, yeah. I mixed up those two songs for some reason. I think they were like in
Okay,
the
wait,
same
wait,
minute
wait,
and
wait,
that.
no. See, my favorite song has to be fuck. See, I'm really bad with like titles, but it's Dua Lipa, Homesick.
Yo, I have not heard this one. I am a Dua fan. I don't know Homesick.
You don't know Homesick?
My favorite Dua song right now would have to be Pretty Please. You know that one?
I don't know that one.
Now it's my turn
Okay,
to
so
be
we
fair.
both
You
have
don't. There you
assignments.
go.
So we
Yeah.
both have assignments,
Pretty
yeah.
Please, Dua Lipa. But if I give you a song, I do want to give you a song to listen to. Oh, but I don't know if you've heard this. Rosie. Do you know Rosie by John Mayer? There. Okay, go. Boom. That's my homework for you then. Rosie
Okay.
and Pretty Please.
You have to message this to me because I'm not gonna
Okay.
remember
Yeah,
it.
yeah, sure. Okay. Speaking of messages, the final question. We have reached the final question of the FausTalk. What is your I know a while ago we kind of brought this up. If you could, like, your 20-year-old self, like if there could be something new that she something new that she knew, or something added that she knew. But let's say you're in the world of the Avengers, for some reason you traveled back in time and you got to talk to your 20-year-old self. Do you have a message for 20-year-old Dani?
Um, I think it would be to be smarter with your time, energy, and money.
Okay.
No, and to always um like put yourself first. Like, yeah, just take care of yourself and the
Boom.
rest will follow.
Boom. Sorry, one last follow up. What would be your message? Let's just put this in the sphere of the internet. Hopefully it lives forever. Your message to 20-year-old Luki.
Luki, I hope that you are a good man, a gentleman, and I hope that you never forget to listen to your own voice, but to always do the right thing.
Boom. Amen. Thanks, Mama. Thanks, Danny. That's a great This is probably one of the longest conversations I've had on the podcast. Thank you so much. I learned.
I'm so sorry. I talk so
Dude,
much.
Stop saying sorry. That's the point, nga. That's the point. It's gonna suck if you go on the podcast. You don't talk much. That's not why it's. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope to meet your kid, man, one day. It's been 5.
Yeah.
He's almost 5, no? He's almost 5.
When the pandemic's over, maybe
Yeah, thank you.
something can happen. But yeah, thank you so much for making my first podcast like very fun.